In this motive video, we find out if the Toyota GR Corolla is better than the GR Yaris. When the GR Corolla was released last year, we did a video comparing the GR Yaris and the GR Corolla on paper to determine which one was better, and basically the prognosis was that the GR Yaris is better because it's over 150 kilograms lighter. You can go and watch that video later if you like and see what we had to say. But here's the thing, on paper and real world aren't always the same, because what you don't get on paper is driving feel and emotion. Now, I wasn't that excited when the GR Corolla came out because I just thought it was a bigger, heavier GR Yaris. But thankfully, it's finally my turn to get a press car from Toyota Australia so I can go and drive the GR Corolla and find out what's it like in the real world compared to the GR Yaris. And as you know, we've got plenty of experience with the GR Yaris. So there was no track days available during the week we had the GR Corolla, so we're going to go and do the next best thing, and that is take it through my favourite piece of Royal Nasho. Here we go. Now, talking to John Bosson from Track School, he said the Yaris and the Corolla, depending on the tyre and the driver, pretty much do the same lap time, which you figure with the same power to weight ratio and a lot of the same stuff would be true, but what's it like on the road? We can't get to a track this week, so we'll turn it in at Royal Nasho. Surprising how much torque a 3-cylinder turbocharged has. This road's pretty bumpy, but this suspension's soaking it up pretty well, actually. A little bit of understeer there as we sped up, but probably just a little bit too eager with the throttle. As much as I'd love to take this to the track, this is where a lot of owners are going to get the most out of their GR Corolla, and that is a bit of fun, something like this. Brakes are still awesome, just like the GR Yaris. Understeer not really existent unless you get ham-fisted. Corner exit's pretty good. Mid-corner adjustments don't really unsettle it too much. Even if you keep it down a gear, enough torque to pull out. So surprisingly, a 1.6 litre turbocharged 3-cylinder actually has more than enough mid-range torque to do some fun even in the lower RPM ranges. So overall, I think this thing torquier than the GR Yaris, obviously with the extra power and torque. It isn't just up top, it actually seems more usable down low as well. So all in all, driving one of these fast through a section of road like that, GR Yaris versus GR Corolla, if I had to go one way or the other, I'd probably say I just preferred the GR Corolla just that little bit more. Now, I have to admit, I enjoyed the GR Corolla a lot more than I ever thought I would. And why is that? Well, firstly, I think it has a much better seating position. The interior has a much better fit, finish and feel to it. It's not as cramped, so it's obviously a big thing for someone who's a bit taller. And the drivability, I think, was a lot better in the GR Corolla. I think the suspension and steering felt better. The better factory tyre obviously helps a little bit as well. And the drivability when it comes to the engine was also better. The extra torque and the shorter gear ratios obviously made a lot of difference to how it drives. But there's a lot more to choosing which car you want than just drivability or how the seat feels. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at probably the most important different areas of choosing a car, compare the two and see if we can get a winner. First up is looks. This is subjective.
I thought the GR Yaris looked better, but the GR Corolla grew on me, and I think it looks a little better and more mature. But we all know this is subjective, so really, it's a draw. Next, performance. Which one is faster depends on a couple of things. Firstly, what tyres the car has, and secondly, if you're comparing the base or rally Yaris, i.e. does it have the front LSDs, and obviously which model of GR Corolla it is. From what we've seen, the extra torque and power of the Corolla combined with better gear ratios, plus the better tyres from factory, offsets the weight in stock trim enough that they basically are neck and neck in most situations. Top spec Corolla is obviously quicker than the bottom spec GR Yaris, and probably vice versa. But as expected, on the same tyres, they're evened out, so really, it's a draw when it comes to performance in a stock car. Drivability is a personal preference, but the objective things, such as seating position and vision, combined with the subjective things like driving feel, we're going to give the win to the GR Corolla on this one. Perhaps the 80mm longer wheelbase and 54mm wider track, or the shorter gear ratios, is just making the car feel better to drive. Next is modifiability, or how easy is it to modify. Now, many parts are interchangeable engine and gearbox wise, but the GR Yaris is ahead of the GR Corolla in this department simply due to how long it's been on sale, and probably has something to do with how hard we pushed the car so early after its release. The Yaris wins this one. Next is more what most people need to think about: practicality. 5-door versus 3-door, 5-seater versus 4-seater, 219 versus 141 litres cargo space. The GR Corolla wins this one quite easily. What about comfort or livability? The better interior quality and layout, more room, and much better seating position means the GR Corolla wins this one as well. Next is price or value for money. You have to compare the GR Yaris Rally to the Corolla GTS to be fair on trim level. In Australia, the GR Corolla GTS is $69,000 drive away or thereabouts depending on your state and options, while the GR Yaris Rally is approximately $61,000 drive away depending on location and options. So when you look at value for money or the performance and trim of the cars, the GR Yaris wins. Lastly is the X factor. The GR Yaris was born out of the Toyota rallying program. It is truly unique with wide body, carbon roof and big brakes and a 4-wheel drive turbo rally rocket with a 6-speed. Really, it's just cool and has bragging rights. While the Corolla, to many people, still looks like one of the highest selling and common cars on the road. Some might enjoy the whole thing about having a sleeper, while some might not. So the X factor, or even the collectability, win goes to the GR Yaris. At the end, when it's all tallied up, it's a draw. So based on our categories, it's a draw, which basically means you just choose which one you want. They're both good, it's just what is more important to you? How do you weight each of those categories so that you can choose which is the right car for you? Now, if you want a winner from us, I'm going to put it out there. It's the GR Corolla. If Toyota said to me, you can have a choice between one or the other for 12 months to drive around, stock for stock, I think the GR Corolla is a better car. The practicality, the livability, the looks are a bit more mature. And just like I said earlier, the drivability of the car with the shorter gear ratios, the better seating position, maybe it's the longer wheelbase playing into it as well. I just prefer driving the GR Corolla. But that's the great thing about this, right? They both exist. We don't need to have a winner. It's up to you which one you want, because let's face it, if you went to a restaurant and the menu only had one thing on it, it would be pretty boring. So let's just be thankful that they both exist, because they're both pretty awesome cars.